All right, so good morning. This is Chad Leath. What I'm doing today is we're going to go over a few key points on body positions on the sled. So, at this point, you've already seen the video kind of showing you a few different key points of the sled, what you can do with it. But today, what we want to go over is body positions on the sled, how to get the most out of the use of the sled as well. So, when we're looking at getting into the sled, the most important part of this is the adjustment of the sled, being able to adjust it to your height. And being able to fall into that 45 to 50 degree lean. Okay, so when we get into the sled, we want to press all the way into the sled and then lift up a little bit. You can adjust it, move it to that position there. Okay, all right, so I got my athlete my 45 to 50 degree angle lean. So what do we do now? Well, we've already taught on the progression. When it comes to speed, power, strength, there are a few points that are going to be similar across the board, whether I'm squatting, lunging, sprinting. And those are the things that we want to be consistent with when we're coaching on the sled, okay? So, first things first, whenever my foot hits the ground, I want to have a loaded ankle, okay? So a loaded ankle would be a tight ankle, this position here, all right? This would be a lazy ankle. We don't want to landing on the heel. When that foot hits the ground, that ankle is loaded, so when it hits, I have an immediate impact, transfer of force, and my body drives my foot drives my body forward, okay? If I land here, I'm going to sink, I'm going to spend more time on the ground, my body's going to sink, and I'm going to push the sled from this position here. So if you have that athlete who's kind of, your hips are getting out in front of the shoulders, or the feet are staying back behind them too long, odds are they're hitting the ground with a lazy ankle, okay? So load that ankle, tighten it up a little bit. You're going to see that across all exercises, whether it's power skips, bounding, sprinting, lunge jumps, split squat jumps, whatever it is that we're doing, we're going to be landing in this position, okay? And that same position goes for a squat. So most of you guys who are teaching your athletes in the weight room how to squat properly, you teach them back on their heels, right? You don't teach them to get way up here, you teach them back on their heels. So it's the exact same position. This position is the same in squatting, it's the same in sprinting, it's the same in jumping, okay? So loaded ankle, probably the most important part of this. Second part, which is a very, very important part as well, is that triple extension. So once my foot hits, I'm in my loaded position on the ankle, then I'm going to hit slightly bent in all components. Hip, knee, ankle, everything's kind of loading and it's ready to fire off. So at this position here, I want everything to extend at the exact same moment and get that triple extension, okay? So this here is what drives the sled forward. If I don't get that, it doesn't really matter what all I did in the process to getting that foot on the ground. If I don't fully extend, my next stride is going to be weaker, it's going to be slower. We're going to start to lose that forward momentum, okay? So, triple extension. Another key point would be the separation of the legs, making sure that we're getting this big separation, so whether I'm bounding, I'm sprinting, I'm doing my split squat jumps, whatever it is, you want big separation, okay? And then finally, posture is very important, but there's a lot of components when it comes to posture. So most people think of posture as shoulders back, chest up. It's not just shoulders back, chest up. It's also good low core position as well, hip position, all of that. So whenever I squat, let's say that I'm about to do my thrusters. I'm in this position. You'll see a lot of athletes sink, their heels come off the ground and their hips get underneath them in this position. That's not good posture. Good posture is a neutral spine. The feet are flat here. My neutral spine means that I don't arch my low back. It means I don't round my back like this would be doing, and it means I'm not rounding my shoulders as well. So just as you would stand, pull your shoulders back and get your hips underneath your shoulders. From the hip to the shoulder, that's exactly what you want to see in all exercises across the board. That neutral spine. This is a neutral spine. So whether I'm doing my thrusters, neutral spine, I'm not arching my back, I'm not sitting back, I'm not rounding in this position. Same on the lunges. You'll see on the lunges, a lot of kids that I've seen kind of round their upper back here. Keep that chest into this pad here, okay? Keep those shoulders up and make sure that the hips stay underneath the shoulders the whole time. You don't want to get them too far back. You don't want to get them too far forward, okay? So posture, outside of triple extension, outside of foot contact, posture is going to complete the push, right? So I could be very powerful in my legs, but if I have bad posture, I'm going to lose that force transfer into the sled, which is what drives the sled down the field. So loaded ankle, making sure that we get that triple extension, making sure that, you know, posture is good, chest is up. Those are all very, very important parts of using the Demon Sled. We're going to go over all of these in more detail, but to make sure that those key points you're hitting every single time the athlete touches the sled will ensure the maximum amount of success that your athlete can reach.